Is it okay to give up on yourself as an entrepreneur after you've had repeated business failures and to shut shop and tell yourself this is not working out for me? If you would like an answer to this question, which is a very crucial question facing some people, then I'd like you to tune into episode number 79 of Get Real with Rajiv. Because apart from this question, I'm going to also answer 3 more crucial questions about hiring, about sales, and about pricing your products and services. Tune into episode number 79 of Get Real with Rajiv, and I promise you there will be value that you would love for yourself as an entrepreneur. Hello everyone, welcome to episode number 79 of Get Real with Rajiv, and like every single week, I'm going to be answering 4 questions, and today Ashlesha is going to be the voice of your questions. So Ashlesha, what's the first question?
The first question is from Avinash. He says, I've been an entrepreneur for the last 8 years. I've started 4 businesses so far and none of them have been successful. At the same time, when I started my entrepreneurial journey, I did so by challenging my folks, and now if I quit, I will not have a face to show. I feel stuck. What should I do?
Okay, Avinash. So I'm going to say certain things that are truth bombs and truth pills that you may have to swallow. Make sure you have a bottle of water next to you because you will need it to keep yourself hydrated. Firstly, Avinash, in your question itself, I am predicting and projecting certain gaps that have led to those 4 business failures. And just check with yourself, somewhere subconsciously, I'm not saying you do this consciously, but somewhere subconsciously through those 4 businesses, you've had just one objective, which is to prove to your family that you starting a business was a right decision. And that has not worked out because the base intent itself is flawed. It's to prove to somebody else that, hey, this is going to work out. My decision is the right decision. I have seen many business owners fall into this trap, and they are always playing catch up in their life, and they are never able to produce with the purity of creation because they are busy in this reaction mode, in the subconscious battle. So I'm asking you to check. I'm not saying that's what it is for you, but please check if that is the reason. Then please allow yourself to acknowledge to yourself that, hey, that approach itself of building a business to prove to somebody else that I can be successful was not the right approach. So firstly, just check. The second thing that I want you to keep in mind is this. After 4 business failures, 4 business failures are like 4 bad relationships. You go through a breakup, and after that, you jump into another relationship seeking for true love. Then you go through another breakup, you jump into another relationship seeking for true love. That's not called building a business, it's called a rebounds. And I've seen many entrepreneurs fall into this trap where one business does not work out, start another one. Another does not work out, start another one. Another does not work out, start another one. So you are right now in what is called as an entrepreneurial rebound phase of your life. Stop bouncing from one business to another business. I'm not asking you to give up. I'm asking you to take some time off, reflect, and learn. Because if 4 businesses have not worked out, there's something missing in those skills. There's something missing in that knowledge. There's something missing in that mindset. So reflect and learn. Invest in mentors, invest in coaches. Now you may say, Rajiv, I don't have the money, but that's the game, my friend. It's about investing the time and money. You don't have to get the time and money you want to have. So reflect and learn. Don't just jump into another 5th business. Lastly, and the most important part, which is where you asked me the question. Don't continue to grow your business or do your business because you don't want to go back home and tell your family it did not work out. That's the worst thing to do. In fact, one of my requests to you will be, go back to your family and share with them authentically, genuinely, that this did not work out for you. Share with them what you're feeling. Allow yourself to be vulnerable with them and tell them that one of your biggest fears was to come back home and tell them that it did not work out. Let them know that openly and ask them for love, support, and strength. Sometimes we are battling people who are our own. Think about it. Even when your family was stopping you from starting the business, that approach may not be right, where they may try to control your career choices and say, become a doctor, become an engineer. But the intent was of care. The intent was of protection. And you never saw the intent. You only saw the approach, and you built this sort of animosity against them that they are not supportive. I'm saying go heal that relationship first. Go back and tell them it did not work out and ask them for support and strength. And when you are honest, when you speak your truth, you let other people open their hearts and speak their truth to you and give you that strength and courage. Now let's just say you go back and you speak your truth and they don't have the emotional intelligence to just be there for you. And probably they go the other direction and say, see, I told you. I know those words can pierce you like 1,000 spears, like 1,000 knives, but it's okay. Just forgive them for that because that's the best that they can do. At the end of the day, this is for you to set yourself free. That's why I'm asking you to express yourself. So Avinash, my honest recommendation, speak your truth, take a break, reflect, learn, and then build a business. I hope that makes sense. With that, let's move to the second question of the week. So Ashlesha, what's the second question?
Next one is from Ram Mohan. He says, is there a particular format or a checklist to follow in order to hire the right person for any job role? Every time I hire someone, I can't help but regret hiring a dead weight and I end up doing everything on my own.
Okay. So Ram Mohan, relevant question. I think all the business owners watching would be like, I want the answer to this question. So Ram Mohan, when it comes to hiring the right people, there are 3 areas where you need to have clarity. First area is clarity of tasks. Whatever job role you are hiring the person for, don't just have clarity of job title. Like I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs say, I want a marketing guy. Okay, what do you want the marketing guy to do? Oh, I want the marketing guy to do marketing. Oh, what do you want the marketing guy to do in marketing? That they will know. No. You need to know. What are the tasks and activities you want that person to do? Clarity of tasks. Make a list. This is what I want this person to do whom I'm hiring. Once you have the clarity of tasks in a step-by-step sequential manner, then clarity of competence. What kind of attitude, what kind of skill, what kind of knowledge should the person have in order to be able to do this task? So make a list of all the skill attributes, knowledge attributes, attitude attributes that this individual should have to be able to do those tasks that you've listed. Now that list of competency attributes becomes your evaluation sheet at the time of interviewing a person, so you don't hire some dead weight. The third thing you need to know is the clarity of the selection process. This is what you need to prepare. What are the questions you will ask to evaluate whether this person has the skills, knowledge, and attitude? What are the tasks and assignments you will give these people to test whether they have the required skills, knowledge, and attitude? What are the assessments you will use to evaluate this person's capability and personality so that you know they are the right fit? So clarity of tasks, clarity of attitude, skills, and knowledge, clarity of selection process in terms of questions, tasks, and assignments, and assessments. Only when you have clarity in these 3 areas are you equipped to hire an effective candidate. See, you find a deadweight candidate because you are a deadweight interviewer. Remember the rule. You improve your capability in interviewing and your clarity in hiring, you will definitely have a better quality of hires in your business. I hope that makes sense to you, Ram Mohan. With that, let's go to the third question for the week. So Ashlesha, what's the third question?
George wants to know, what's been your most successful sale so far?
My most successful sales so far. Let me tell you a story. My most successful sales so far was in 2018 June or July. I think July or August. 2018 July or August. I was on a 4-country tour with Gary Vaynerchuk. We were speaking in 4 different countries. We did Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, and Thailand. 4 countries. And I remember we finished Malaysia. And what happens typically at these events, these are called National Achievers Conference events. What happens at these events is each speaker speaks for 90 minutes. They do a keynote talk for 90 minutes. And at the end, they sell their advanced level program. So I spoke in Malaysia, 1,400 people in the room, got great sales for my 3-day signature business space program, went to Singapore. I land up at Singapore, meet the organizers, and I asked them, how many people are we expecting? They said, we are expecting 800 people. I said, how many of them are business owners? And the organizers looked at me and said, business owners should not be more than 20 to 30%. I'm like, what? then why do you have me as a speaker? Because my audience is predominantly business owners. They said, yeah, but Gary Vaynerchuk is the keynote speaker and most millennials are attracted to Gary Vaynerchuk. So we have more millennials in the audience. They are not necessarily business owners. They're either students or people in a job. I said, okay, it's not the right audience for me, but let me go do my bit. I said, okay, 20-30% business owners out of a room of 800, that's about 160 to 240 business owners. If I'm able to sell my PACE program and 20-30% of them buy, great. I go up on stage, I ask people a question. How many of you here are business owners? Raise your hands. 3 hands go up. I thought to myself, I think Singaporeans are lazy. Let me ask that question one more time. How many of you here are business owners? Please raise your hands. The same 3 hands go up. And that moment in my head, I was like, what the, whatever. And knowing that I have only 3 target customers in the audience, but I have to speak for 90 minutes, was the most challenging moment of my speaking, training, and selling career. But something shifted on the inside, and I said, you know what? Now that you've lost, you have nothing more to lose. So go all out and teach with your heart and sell passionately. And here's what ended up happening. My course is only for business owners. By the end of it, we had 11 people signing up for my business PACE program. And me and Suren, my business partner from Success Gyan, we started laughing because we were like, wow, we just converted 8 non-entrepreneurs into becoming entrepreneurs. So I would say that's my most memorable time. Monetarily may not be the most successful, but emotionally it was definitely very, very satisfying. So I hope you enjoyed that story, George. With that, let's go to the 4th and final question for this week. So Ashlesha, what's the 4th question?
The last one for today. Shruti wants to know if your product is new to the market and is one of a kind, how to find the right price point for it.
Well, Shruti, there are 3 ways of figuring out pricing, right? The one method of pricing is called pricing based on the product value. Now, if you're saying your product is one of a kind and there's nothing like in the market, then ask yourself, what value will this product add to your target customer? And what is the price of that value? Which means what? If I'm selling you this mobile phone, if I'm selling this mobile phone to a student, he can or she can use this mobile phone for texting their friends. They can use this mobile phone for staying connected on social media with their friends. There's a certain value they attach to it. But if I'm selling the mobile phone to a business owner and they can stay active on social media, they can check their mails, they can make their calendars and planners, they can calculate and save their business reports on this, then the value is much higher. So ask yourself, what value will your product or service add to that target customer, and come up with a price point that your target customer will be willing to pay for that value. So that's your first way of figuring out pricing, based on the product value. The second way of figuring out pricing is based on your profit target. What do I mean by this? You have certain costs that you need to incur to produce that product, to produce that service, to run your business, to take care of the fixed overheads of your business. Factor those costs divided by the number of pieces you think you will sell at a worst case scenario, and ask yourself what's a decent profit margin for you to make on those pieces, and come up with a pricing. That is called pricing based on profit target. The third approach is pricing based on brand value. This may not be relevant when you get started, but over a period of time, as you build credibility, as you create more success, as you build more goodwill, you can start charging a premium for the brand value as well. So, Shruti, mix and match these 3 approaches and see what fits as the right price. The simple way of knowing what's the right price is to ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being highest and 1 being lowest, what is your conviction in selling that product or service? This is a very important question to ask yourself, because a lot of people who sell a product or service, when I ask them this question on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being highest and 1 being lowest, what is their confidence level on the worthiness of the pricing that they are charging? Sometimes people say, oh Rajiv, I think it's a 7, it's a 6, which means they are not sold to the product themselves, therefore they are not able to sell the product. Fix a pricing which is a level 10 pricing. where you feel it's bloody worth it for the customer, it's bloody worth it for you to make healthy and decent profit margins, and only when you feel that you've got that sweet spot of pricing, that's when you've arrived at the right pricing. So I hope that makes sense, Shruti. With that, we come to the end of episode number 79 of Get Real with Rajiv. If you found the answers of this episode useful, then I want you to register yourself by clicking on the link given to attend my Business Breakthrough Seminar. This is a 4-hour training. It's a very, very powerful training, and there's a very special offer that we have for you. It's almost at a no cost, negligible cost. So click on the link below, and I look forward to seeing you at the Business Breakthrough Seminar, because if you are a business owner, I promise you, you will find a lot of answers in the Business Breakthrough Seminar on how to build a business which can grow without you. With that, we come to the end of episode number 79 of Get Real with Rajiv. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.